Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to address some misconceptions about living in a motorhome. And this comes from a comment that I saw on Facebook, actually, and it was in a group, like a motorhome group thing, and I was a part of it. What it was somebody was asking advice, which is fair enough, right? You go to a van Facebook page or whatever, van life Facebook page, get some advice. They're thinking about doing van life. They don't know what van to get, right? This is a big topic, and I don't know why, but there is sort of like this kind of like divide between people in panel vans, people in motorhomes, right? I don't know whether people in panel vans, some of them, not all of them, not stereotyping anyone, think that being in a motorhome is somehow cheating. I don't know what the thing is, but what I do know is when I drive down the road, people in motorhomes generally wave and people in panel vans don't wave, even though I wave at them because I'm nice like them. Anyway, this guy was asking advice about living in a van and what kind of van should they get. They were toying with the idea of buying a panel van, toying with the idea of buying a motorhome. They didn't know what to do. They had a certain budget and all that kind of thing. People were giving their advice and their opinions, which is totally fine. You know, some people were saying, no, panel vans are better because, and motorhomes are better because, you know, whatever. And then one guy said, there's no way you can live in a motorhome. They are not made well enough to live in full time. Well, I've been living in here now for over 2 years, full time, and I know other people that have been living in vans for like 9 years, even, I'm talking about motorhomes, 9 years, 10 years, 20 years even. So I want to put that misconception, if you like, to bed. Now the thing is, it doesn't matter whether you live in a motorhome or you live in a van or whatever, a tent, whatever you want to live in. It's no different to like someone living in a terraced house or living in a bungalow or living in a flat. You know, there's all different types of homes, right? And the same goes for homes on wheels. Now, the clue's in the title, isn't it? It's called a motor home. All right. So I'm going to talk you through my van, and then if you are looking at vans and you are wondering what kind of van would suit me, maybe a panel van would suit you better for whatever reason, that's fine. And maybe I'll talk about a few of those pros and cons and that kind of thing. But for us, living in a motorhome is absolutely brilliant, and we've been doing it for a long time. So I'll show you around quick. If you're new to the channel, then you probably haven't seen this van. Well, you won't have, will you? Because you're new to the channel. But if you're old to the channel, you're a regular, thank you very much for being a regular, love you, you're gorgeous, but you've probably seen it anyway loads of times. But I'm just going to walk you around quickly and show you exactly what we have in comparison to a house, maybe, right? To answer the argument, you can't live in a motorhome full time, they're not good enough, not made good enough, or whatever. Let's have a look at this. Basically, I have everything I need in here to live comfortably as well. I'm talking comfortably. The only thing we don't have is a washing machine because there's no room for one. If there was room for one, I'd put one in here, I'll tell you. But let's start at the back. That's where the bathroom is. Yes, we've got a toilet, working shower, full working shower. Let's take a look. Okay, so we've got a separate sink. It's one of my sinks from my company, my new company, Dinky Sinks. We make these if you're interested. Anyway, cupboard, sink, running water. Hot and cold, of course. Funky mirror and all that stuff. We can clean our teeth. Hand towel. In here we've got a full shower and toilet. Rainfall and normal. Hot and cold, of course. Full length mirror for when you're getting changed. You can check yourself out in it. All the cleaning stuff you would require. Towels, etc. Hooks and all that kind of thing. Another mirror. Hello. And we've got a full-size wardrobe as well. Down there is the water tank and the gubbins for the pump and everything, for the water pump. But we've got a nice big storage area with all our stuff in. Well, not all our stuff, because that's not the only storage area, but huge amount of storage area for everything in there. Okay, so we can clean ourselves whenever we want to with a nice hot shower, and we can take a poo-poo, take a wee-wee whenever we want to as well. Disposing of your poo-poo and wee-wee is another topic altogether. There is responsible ways to do it, which we do, obviously. And then moving on to the kitchen area, we have full-size kitchen sink and full-size unit brilliant for doing the washing up, preparing vegetables and all that kind of thing, with the old like schmoodle doodle, I don't know what do they call them things, I don't know, salad shower and all of that stuff. More storage up here, obviously, for, there you go, Tupperware tubs and plates and all that kind of thing. This little thing flips up as well, gives you more worktop space, but like we need it because we've got all that worktop space as well. Other side of the kitchen, more cupboards, drawers, all your bits and bobs, more cupboards, more storage, right? Here we've got induction hob, so we can cook on electric when we want to, and we cook on gas as well. We do a portable gas because most of the time we cook on electric, and I'll come to the electric in a minute. But when electric's a little bit, you know, low, we cook on the gas. We are going to get a double one of these because they are brilliant actually and very affordable to run. So we're going to get a double one because using one is a bit of a pain when you can't use that. Anyway, we have a clock, security camera, air fan, all that stuff. And yeah, lots of room. You can move around. I can do squats in here, which I often do, and push-ups and things like that. And then we move into the lounge area and we have this massive luxury sofa with all storage underneath it as well. We have our heater and water boiler under there. We heat the van with a diesel heater and all the controls for all of that is over here. Obviously nice big windows, they're shut at the moment. But this is brilliant. And there's our fridge, which is a decent sized fridge in there. And if I sit here, oh, you can get a grasp of the space you've got. This is a 6.5 metre motorhome. Electric cupboard, more storage, more storage, more storage, loads of it. We don't have a TV, we have a projector which sits up there, which projects onto this screen, which just pops down there. And we get a massive, huge TV screen on there where we sit and watch Netflix and all that schmoodle. And I even have a PlayStation 4 tucked away as well when I want to play some Res Evil or some kind of Star Wars game or something. This is obviously a bed. This is actually the size of a single bed, but there's two of us in here. So our bed is cleverly up here, and all I do is push a button and it comes down from the ceiling, and then we have an instant double bed. And then there's the overcab bed up there as well. So we can sleep, quite a lot of people in here. We sleep on this. It's brilliant. You just bring it down, roll out the duvet, you're done. And then it just tucks away, out of sight. Obviously you can stand up in the van as well, which is really important if you're living full time in the van. It's really important, I think, to be able to stand up and you can walk about. I can walk, 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 walk. Yeah, it's good. You can move around, you can float all your arms around. Don't feel claustrophobic whatsoever. This motorhome is an old motorhome. It's almost a classic. It's 37 years old, coming up 37 years old. It's got 3 MOTs left and it becomes a classic vehicle. But the good thing about motorhomes is usually they have low mileage. This only had 50, I want to say 54, it might be 52, 54,000 genuine miles on it when I bought it. It's now got 75,000 miles on it. We've had it nearly 3 years. So that shows you how many miles we've done quite a bit. And it's brilliant. So when you buy these old motorhomes, even newer motorhomes, they generally have lower mileage, which is good. Sometimes not so good if they haven't been used enough, if that makes sense. If you know, you know. You've got to drive them, right? If they're sat for a long time, it can cause problems. But anyway, it's 6.5 meters long. Parking it isn't always an issue. You know, most of the time it's fine. I can pull up on roads. It's 2.5 meters wide. So it's quite wide, but it's wider than a panel van, put it that way. But you can still park, as long as you're sensible and you park on a street where there's plenty of room, and there's lots of them, you can park fine. Car parks, supermarkets and stuff like that, generally I have to go over 2 spaces. Or you can find a verge, a grass verge, and hang the back over. That's usually fine. And to demonstrate, I'll show you where I'm parked right now. There you go, in a road, at the side of the road. There's trucks going up and down here, buses and all sorts. It's fine, it's flat. And not outside anyone's house, all right, by a hedge. There's houses over there, so I'm not encroaching. Generally speaking, there is a whole etiquette to parking, I feel. Not everyone follows it, but I think, and a lot of us do think that are on the road doing it full time, that you shouldn't outstay your welcome. Couple of nights, depending on where it is. I mean, here we're staying here tonight, but only because Tracy's working in the hospital around the corner, and we would go tonight, but there's firework display in Lewis, which is on the way back, and they're going to close all the roads, so it's going to be a nightmare. So we're going to stay here and go early in the morning. So by the time people wake up, we'll be gone anyway. So in a road like this, I wouldn't normally stay any more than one night. Sometimes if you've got more of a scenic one, it's a bit more space and that kind of thing, you can get away with a bit longer. But generally we tend to move around, and I think that's important. And don't leave any trace, don't leave any rubbish, all that kind of thing. Anyway, I digress. The motorhome situation. Yes, you can live full-time in a motorhome, and why wouldn't you want to live full-time in a motorhome? They're purpose-built for it. Buying an old one like this, we were able to gut it, which we did, pretty much ripped it all out and rebuilt it the way we wanted it, right? Which is why we've got this modern style sink and big worktops and stuff like that, because Tebow had her wants and I had my wants and stuff like that. So we did it the best we could to accommodate ourselves, and there was no way we weren't going to have a full-size shower and a working toilet and all that kind of stuff. Now, insulation and stuff like that, I don't know about modern motorhomes so much, but even these old ones, they're not bad. This is another misconception, and you get this a lot, especially when it comes to this time of year. Oh, you're going to be freezing in there. We still haven't put the heating on. It's beginning of November. We still haven't put the heating on. It's still hot at night. We still like throwing the covers off of ourselves at night time. These are pretty well insulated anyway, even the old ones. And then you got the diesel heater. Everybody that knows about van life knows about diesel heaters, right? You can get them so cheap now. There's videos on diesel heaters. It gets toasty in here. Really, really toasty. They're really, really cheap to run. Really cheap to buy. If they break, you just replace them. They're that cheap. And very safe if you install them properly. Our diesel heater heats our water as well. We have no gas in this van. That was one of the things I wanted. I didn't want to have gas, but you have the portable gas. That's it. I've got no gas at all, which gave me an extra locker, because where the gas bottle used to be in the gas locker outside is now like a tool cupboard. I keep all my bits and bobs and stuff in there, which is great as well. Now, that brings us on to power. Things have moved on quick. Since I did this van 3 years ago, renovated this van, things have moved on fast. When we first went out, we didn't have enough power, not for what I wanted it to do. We had the induction hob and I couldn't really run it and blah, blah, blah. We learned quickly. But solar power now has come down so much in price. You can get massive panels, like 600 odd watt panels for less than 100 quid and things like that. And even down to the the controllers and the batteries themselves are even reasonable now. We have a 628 amp hour Fogstar, and we paid, I want to say 900 pounds for it, but I think they're down to like 700 now, which is really, really good value, because that's a massive battery. It's huge. And we also have the EcoFlow Delta 2, which is another 85 amp hours on top of that. So we've got like over 700 amp hours. And to put it into perspective, we're not using the induction hob at the moment because we're getting in the winter and it's cloudy, don't get as much solar and that kind of thing. So a bit of power management. The last time we were on a campsite was 11 days ago. 11 days ago, we went to a campsite, we plugged in, charged everything up, and we've still got, I think, about 50%. I think I've still got 50% of my battery left. Yeah, so they go a long, 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 long time. And on that as well, people generally think that you can't have like plug sockets and things. Everything has to be 12 volt. No, it doesn't have to be 12 volt at all. We've got loads of sockets in here, tons and tons of plug sockets, and we plug everything in that we want to plug in. Anything that's 240 is fine. Hair straighteners, hair dryers, air fryers and all of that, as long as you've got the power, right? And with those huge batteries, you can do it pretty, especially through the summer. Through the summer, don't have to worry about it whatsoever. Obviously, when we drive, we have a DC charger as well, which charges the battery. Now, I'm going to say something about these older vehicles, and there is one issue, and that is the alternators that are in these older vehicles aren't very powerful. It's only a 40 amp alternator, and that's largely because there's not a lot of stuff in these older vans, as opposed to gadgets and stuff, as opposed to newer vans. And it's really difficult to upgrade that without major work, and I've looked into it, and it's probably not worth it. So the best I can achieve out of my alternator is 20 amps on a 628 amp hour battery, you know, you have to be driving for, you know, several hours, 10s, 20 hours to charge it up. But it does help a little bit, of course, on top of the solar and stuff like that. That's one thing to consider if you're considering an old motorhome. Yeah, your DC charger's probably not, you're not going to be able to put a big one in. Also, the other thing to consider is the fuel cost. This is a petrol engine. I know, people are going, whoa, petrol. Yeah, it is a 3.5 ton, well, it's actually 3.1 ton. So you can drive it on a normal license. The miles per gallon isn't great. When I bought this van, it was dual fuel, it was LPG and petrol, but I've took the LPG out because it didn't work anyway, and I didn't want to get it, you know, serviced or upgraded or something. It just wasn't worth it, so it all came out. So we just run petrol, but it's just one of the things you have to put up with if you're going to have an older one. The newer ones are probably better, obviously, with the newer engines and turbo diesels and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, what you can afford. This van wasn't all that expensive to buy. It's less than £7,000. I mean, if you're looking at motorhomes and or panel vans or whatever, you can appreciate how expensive they can get. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just something you have to put up with if you're going to do an older one. And obviously, the main thing about having a motorhome is the shape. They're square. They're easier to work on, whereas panel vans can, you know, be funny shapes and stuff. So you have all the funny shapes to deal with. Not slagging off panel vans, don't get me wrong. If a panel van is what suits you, then that's what suits you. That's fantastic, you know. There is this whole thing about being stealthy, but honestly, I can spot them a mile away. Even as you know, if they're trying to be stealthy, as soon as you put a max air fan on your roof or a solar panel, then it's obvious that you're a camper van or whatever. I don't think there's really any stealthiness to go on. You can be less sticky outy or more inconspicuous, if you like. A motorhome is a motorhome, and it's really obvious. But I think just be in plain sight, just park responsibly, don't be a nuisance, and you're generally fine anyway. If you're going to convert a panel van from scratch, that's a lot of work. You've got to get right down. You're right down to the bare nothing. You know, you've just got your shell, you have to insulate it and do that, which is good in a way, because then you can do it exactly how you want it. And you can, obviously, if you're doing that with modern materials, it's going to be better than the older materials and stuff like that. But honestly, like I said, it doesn't ever get cold in here, especially with that diesel heater blaring out. Yeah, it's weighing it up, really, isn't it? Weighing it up what you want, and it's the cost of it. If you buy a motorhome to live in, a lot of the work's done for you. Like, I didn't have to do any plumbing, I just used the existing plumbing, and a lot of the wiring was existing, the 12 volt stuff anyway. I put all brand new 240 stuff in, 230 now, isn't it? Whatever. But a lot of the existing wiring stayed because there was nothing wrong with it, just to run the lights and things like that. Obviously, there's other types of vehicles. There's Luton vans. Luton vans make excellent conversions, if you like, because they are just big boxes like motorhomes. They're pretty much like a motorhome. Horse boxes, similar thing. So it's whatever you prefer, and I think that obviously some people are going to be like, no, motorhomes are better, no, panel vans are better. It doesn't matter. It's whatever suits you in your situation and what you want in your van. Anyway, to put that to rest, yes, you can live in a motorhome full time. People do live in motorhomes full time. It's not an issue whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with the build quality of an old motorhome or a new motorhome, not particularly. Not really any different to a panel van. I know a panel van is like, you know, it's a metal box as opposed to these, which are an aluminium box, or new ones are plastic. I don't know, fiberglass, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Yes, you can live full time in a motorhome, and we are proof of that. And you can make it how you want to make it and do what you want to do. So if you're choosing a van, then just think about what you want. Do you want something that's going to take a little bit less work? It's purpose built in a way. Well, it is purpose built, and it's, you know, it's got space, isn't it? It's square. You can move around, walk about, and stuff like that. A panel van might be a bit more restrictive, all that kind of thing. The cost of it, the cost of the conversion, where you're going to be parking, what's your needs for living in it. Is it you and your wife, you and your girlfriend and your 3 dogs? Is it you and your kids? You know, there's lots of things to consider. So my advice is just shop about, because when we went into it, we were gunning for a panel van. That's what we had in our mind. Yeah, we're going to do a panel van, that looks great, get a Sprinter or something like that, long wheelbase. As soon as we saw one, we're like, no, that's not going to work for us. We just knew straight away. As soon as we stepped in here, We're like, bingo mass, that's it. So there you go. You can live in a motorhome full time. No problem. Right, I hope that video was informative for you. If you like the video, then please do like, comment and subscribe, all that good stuff, and God bless you. There is some things coming up as well, and I'm excited about it. So we'll keep you up to date as we go. Anyway, here's the jingle.
We'll ride these roads forever, side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and loving every turn we take, this thing called amazing race, no chance we'll break.